Hello, dear friend, and welcome. I've brought out this symbol of professional teaching because I believe it's a very heavy symbol. I believe I've discovered the 5 elements of testing. Eureka! At least I think eureka, because what I'm claiming is that in America, what caused let's go this way first. What caused Parkland, Florida, school shooting, school massacre, 3 teachers, 7 children, teenagers, is the same cause for what created Arizona's Red for Ed. The outburst by both is because something's not correct in K-12 public education. What I'm claiming is the weight upon our children, upon our teenagers, upon our teachers, is being told what to memorize before ever being taught how to memorize. Since 1956, when America started mandatory testing. Whew, that was a mouthful. So, per Robert Fritz, MIT Sloan School of Business Management, all the elements that make up the whole determine the direction of the whole, K-12 public education's direction. If we don't see all the elements and change that which might be or must be the most important element, we won't change the direction of the whole. Right now we have crisis in education, K-12 education, school shootings by children, teenagers, strikes, going on strike by teachers. So if we can understand, per Robert, all the elements that make up the whole that place this weight on our children, teenagers, and teachers for having to remember information, we were never taught how to memorize. For Mr. Deming, only the method matters. We're not taught a method for memorizing, therefore we greatly struggle to remember and pass the test. So, Robert's About Elements, one of his books, oddly enough, is titled Elements. Again, MIT Sloan School of Business Management, Mr. Fritz, I believe the world's #1 thinker in America and possibly the world. So, elements. What are the elements of testing? Welcome. My name is Russell Kukla, your teacher. You may call me Mr. Kukla. What I have for you, dear student, is a test. It's only one test. The first part, the first element of testing, this test is mandatory. You don't have a choice. You must take this test. You must receive from me this test of the 50 African capitals. The 50 African capitals. Yeah, kind of similar to the 50 U.S. capitals, but we're going to take it up a notch because most of those you know by rote memory. These, very few by rote memory. So you will have to either A, somehow pull this out from wherever you pull this out of, or you'll need to create a method or a memory matrix for memorizing each. Can you do that? Because that's what I'm saying. Rote memory is not going to cut it here, folks. Saying it over and over and over again, writing it over and over and over again, not going to do it. But we could create a matrix for memorizing each. So we're no longer guessing. So in K-12 public education, part 2, option lock. Option lock is you must take the test 7 days from today. So that is the option lock. Option lock is you must, time lock? I'm sorry, option lock is you must get a B. So a B is 40 correct answers for 80%. So the option lock is you must pass, you must get at least a B. The time lock is 7 days from the day you view this video and you email me your address, russell@createk12change.org. I will email to you the 50 African capitals. You'll have 7 days from when I send that off to you. I will call you exactly in 7 days to the minute to test you. I'll uphold my part of the bargain. Will you uphold your part of the bargain? and take this test. So number one, it's mandatory. Number two, option lock, you must achieve a B. Number three, time lock, you got 7 days from when you send me your email and I send back to you the test. I will call you exactly in 7 days, no matter what time of the day you sent this to me or I sent to you. Okay, what's the fourth element for testing? Would you like to guess? It's the same element that pertains to drama. Any dramatic book, play, theater, film, TV show. The element of what's at stake. What's at stake? It's not going to work. Mandatory, you got to get a B. 7 days I'm going to test you, but if nothing's at stake, who cares? So will you put something at stake yourself? How about if you cannot use your cell phone until I retest you in 7 more days? That's putting a lot at stake. How about if I put at stake that I publicly list you on the website as having been challenged to take the test, either accepting or not accepting this challenge. If you accept, 7 days, what's your letter grade? So I could place on you the fourth element of what's at stake. Robert Fritz, all the elements that make up the whole determine the behavior of the whole. If we truly accept these 4 elements, we now put our feet in the students' shoes, the children's shoes, and the teacher's shoes. It's only one test. Your choice is to either accept the test, and in 7 days I'll test you, to not accept the test, not accept the challenge, and never understand the pressure that's on our children, teenagers, and teachers. So which choice do you have once you viewed this video? There is a fifth element. Per Mr. Fritz, there's only 2 types of structures. One's an advancing structure. We want to advance what we know so we can build upon it. Robert Fritz, the advancing structure. The other structure people are unaware of, it is, come on, you must have read it in one of these books by now. It's a rocking chair, an oscillating structure. Even though we move forward, we try our best to advance. Over a certain period of time, we go back to where we started, having achieved no success, 0. Only 2 structures. I haven't read in all these books about a third structure. If it's out there, please let me know. I'm open to learning. So for our children, they try their best to hang on to the information. Our teenagers try their best to hang on to the information over a certain period of time. As teachers say, when our students come back after summer vacation, they've forgotten almost everything. That's the oscillation. So the next one, there is a sneaky 6th one, but I think it goes to a different part. You get a prize. If you struggle through all this to memorize and pass the 50 African capitals with at least 40 correct answers, if you do all that work in 7 days, I'm going to give you a letter grade. How are you going to spend that? What you're going to do with it? I always ask myself that question. Let's see, if I work my ass off and get an A, less time for all the things I really like to do. So how about if I just get past and just barely make it through so I can invest my energy, my time, my resources in what I care about? Because I don't care if it's an A, B, C, D, or F, I can't really use that in any tangible, practical way. It's a lot of work to get that letter grade, folks. So are you going to accept the challenge? Will you receive from me? You've now viewed, and this is now concluding, so your time is now due, whoever you might be. Email russell@createk12change.org. As soon as I can, I will reply to you, and I'll set that time on my calendar. On 7 days, I will call to test you. If you send me at midnight, I'll call you at midnight. I'll uphold my part of the bargain so that we can understand Is this how we gauge the pressure? Let's start it off. There's a misunderstanding, which leads to confusion, which leads to suffering, a struggle, which leads to suffering, which leads to pain. When a child, teenager, teacher is in pain, they either fall away from education. Many teachers and students do so. I was one of those, just about disappeared. Or they move forward, sometimes aggressively. When we're in pain, we don't just sit in pain. Yeah, that hurt yesterday at school. I'm going to go back and take that same pain. No, either way, we're going to do something. Move away or move forward. Moving forward could be taking drugs, could be abuse of brother or sister at home, could be bullying fellow students. So, is this a simple way, the 5 elements of testing? Are you willing to participate, to truly understand what I believe to be the pain? I can very easily, just through testing memory very shortly, already notice the pain. This will produce a lot of pain, and that's the point. Oh, little P.S. You cannot study how to memorize. You cannot pick up Harry Lorraine's book, Super Memory Super Student, or any other books about memorizing, because just like our children and our teenagers, you can only use the tools that you have. To memorize the 50 African capitals, achieve a letter grade of B within 7 days, put something at stake, let me know in your email. Russell, I'm putting this at stake. I will not use my cell phone for 7 days until you retest me again. Or I'll put you up on the website and your letter grade. Not mine. I'm not saying I can memorize these. Instead, I understand the pain, and I'm trying to lift this burden off of our children and our teenagers. Someday, we can create a memory matrix for each. That's the point. I'm already doing it for the 50 U.S. capitals because I'm hearing so many children and teenagers I speak with that have no clue. That itself is amazing. Not to fault anybody, but that would be interesting to create with them and take those steps with them. So will you choose to participate? Email me, russell@createk12change.org. As soon as I can, I will send you out the 50 African capitals. Remember, can't be using that guy. Now, if you want, you can read any of Robert Fritz's book about creating. That's fair game. Because what I'm saying is the method Robert Fritz teaches for creating is the same method we can learn for memorizing. But he's out. He's foul ball territory. This is in the park. Pick up any of the books. It will help you to understand how to memorize. If you look carefully and closely and actually utilize the principles to create something. It's not going to work in theory. You actually have to pull it down and actually create it. Otherwise, it's not going to count. So, thank you very much for participating. I will keep a close lookout for your email.